Cover It Show. The Cover It Show is brought to you by American Matters Media. I'd like to thank you for listening in. It's on Tuesdays from 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific Time. And we have an exciting show today, very exciting to me, and I'm sure exciting to you. We've got music, followed by more music, and then a surprise at the end with the Canna Talk section. So, first up, we have Matthew Lagarde. Matthew Lagarde is a fabulous, fabulous musician. He's been on the show before. I invited him back on because he's that great. His band is fantastic. It's called the Colourflies. And when you look up the Colourflies, you can Google it, or you can go to Reverb Nation. The Colourflies is color, COLOUR, FLIES, just like color from the British way, how they would spell color. So Matthew's on the line right now. How are you, Matthew?
Doing pretty well. How are you doing today, Jen?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So you're calling in from, tell us where you're calling in from?
I am calling in from good old Idaho, just like always.
Yep, good
Great
old
place
Idaho.
to live. Yeah.
I bet it is. How's the weather there?
Ooh, it's we got partial visibility, and it's looking a little bit like LA, but I think that'll clear up soon, and then we'll have some rain probably.
Oh, great. So, going with the flow a little bit, just how weather changes, your music style changes, but it doesn't change for the negative. It doesn't change because the Colourflies doesn't know what they're doing. It changes because each song is so different from one another. And I know I've said this before, but I'm just really taken aback by how powerful the lyrics are, how moving the music is, and how you manage to accomplish what you do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Absolutely. I wanted to ask you, we have a song to play, Rock Candy, and that's going to be played in a little while. We're going to play it at the second segment. Matthew's on for a while with me in the Cover It Show. Mm-hmm. And so Rock Candy, I absolutely love that song, and the name, of course, is catchy. Let me go back to when I was talking about how your songs are so unique from one another.
Okay.
I've asked you this before, and I'm going to ask you again for the listeners out there that haven't had a chance or the opportunity to hear this. How do you go about creating the music in the fashion that you do? I know that you've said before that you're collaborative with your bandmates. Your bandmates are Quest Johnson, right, and Scotty Homan?
Sky's not in the band anymore, but Quest, me, and Devin.
Oh, okay, Quest, you and Devin, okay.
So, 3 people. As far as the collaboration process, on that song specifically, what had happened is we were recording I think it was like last year or whatever, and we had a meeting with somebody who it actually became our manager, but she was telling us about this punk rock club called the Rock Candy. She used to go to all the time back when she was going to shows and stuff like that. And she was saying it was this wonderful place that they tore down, and it was a real shame or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I thought the name of the place kind of struck the idea for the song to me. Oh, and I thought it would be kind of like I came up with, after that meeting with her, which was in Spokane, we went back to our house, and I wrote the song that night.
Wow.
And it's kind of just stems from the idea of, I don't know, the idea of the song is like, it's kind of like most songs that we have or whatever, whereas Kimberly has kind of a twisted idea. This song is kind of has a twisted idea too. Mm-hmm. And it's like the idea of wanting your significant other to like escape. Like, I can't like explain it. It's like the idea of it's like the idea of somebody wanting their significant other to go away, but to make a mistake. that's basically it.
Oh, okay. Okay, I can't wait because in about 20 minutes or so we'll be playing that, and then can you tell us? Are you at liberty to tell us some of the fantastic news that I've heard, or is this on the down low?
I'm at liberty to discuss whatever.
Great.
Yeah, as you know, and one of the reasons you're having us back on the show is that we recently signed to our first record label.
Congratulations! That's so awesome.
Thank you so much.
Cartwheels.
Yeah, I was actually I was just talking to Scott, the owner of the label, and I'm telling him I was going on the show, and he's like, "Get the audio for the show as soon as you can because I want to post it." He's all about capitalizing on on things, opportunities that we get, which is a good business model. I think it's a really good thing to do. So.
Great. So you've gotten signed and you have a manager and things are just moving forward for you. I've noticed that you're having more and more hits or clicks, downloads, combination of all of the above from different sites. Check them out on Reverb. Check out, for the listeners out there, the Colourflies on Reverb Nation. Your Reverb Nation.
It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
I hear we're actually making some money, but we'll see. That remains to be seen. But it's very possible.
I think I see lots of money in your future. I see you being very profitable. You guys run a tight ship, and so to speak. Although I've never said that about music before, but I suppose it can be, right, because you have this loose, organic, natural flavor to what you do, what you write, what you sing about, your music as a whole, and yet it is at the same time it's not so loose that it just sounds freestyle, which I do like some freestyle. Right. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. I played a show the other day and somebody came up to me and was like, "Oh, I really like that stuff," and I was like, "Well, thanks a lot, man." He's like, "Yeah, it sounds like sad rock. You guys are sad rock."
Sad rock.
And so within a year we've come from being exciting music that's fun to jump up and down and dance to, according to our newspaper interview or whatever, or article, to being sad rock. So maybe
that's from one person, right?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe next year will be moderate rock, or I don't know. I don't know what's in between that.
You know what's kind of cool about that is the person that came up to you to tell you that he would define it as a sad rock means that he felt emotion in one or more of your songs in your set that you played, to actually come up to you to tell you that some of the music struck chords in him to make him have those feelings. And is music about emotion?
As much as I was taking the piss out of the fact that he said that, I do admire that we strike a chord with people emotionally. I've cried on stage before, and there's just something that comes over you if you're passionate about what you're doing, and you really can't help it. At least I can't.
Yeah, that's just coming right down from within yourself, and it's just pouring out in so many lovely ways. So
everybody wants to hide behind the guise as being in a rock band, but for me, that's the ultimate form of expression. I think I hide behind a guise as being normal or myself, rather. But when I get on stage or whatever, and when we get on stage, that's really us.
Wow. And so we have about 30 seconds left on the clock before we go to break, and then you'll be right back, and then we're going to be playing your song. Real quick question is, in one word, do you prefer, when you're performing, the recording aspect or the live performance?
I love being in the studio because I like the idea of it being a blank canvas, and you can put literally all of your ideas down. Live is kind of just I don't think a song is finished until it's played live, really, And so, live is the ultimate application of what you've done in the studio.
There we go. I love that. Matthew, you are a very intelligent person. I just love that. We need to do an interview where I can quote you on that and put it on Cover It magazine. Anyhow, so we're going to cut to break real quick, and then we're going to be back on with Matthew, and we're going to hear the song Rock Candy soon. So stay tuned. You're going to want to hear this song.
Want to grow your business? Are you looking to move overstocked inventory or perishable assets? Look no further than the Western Trade Alliance, Northern Nevada's largest and fastest growing business-to-business barter company. The Western Trade Alliance has over 275 members and are adding more every week with offices in both Reno and Las Vegas. The Western Trade Alliance will help you to save money through barter, as well as increasing your sales, market share, and exposure in the community. Our talented trade brokers will show your business how to use barter for items like dining out, printing, or travel, just to name a few. Call one of our trade brokers today at 775-636-8191 or visit us online at westerntradealliance.com. Grow your business with barter. Apply for a Western Trade Alliance account today.
The business landscape has changed. Have you? Do you even have a social media presence? There is an easier way to obtain the power of social media. I'm Linda, CEO of the Video City Directories. Posting several times every day to several different social media sites was not appealing to me. I'd much rather be running other aspects of my business. It's hard to believe, but I found a way to utilize social media without the pain. My team at the VCD takes away the headache and stress of having to constantly post and then share to social media, which frees up your time, builds your business, and saves you dollars. 60% of businesses don't even have an online presence. If your competitors are beating you to the punch, you need the Video City Directory's professional staff to quickly and affordably get you up to speed. If your business is having a hard time with its social media presence, call me now at 888-484-3823. If you're not getting the online exposure, call me now at 888-484-3823.
People are always talking about the stock market, always looking to invest in a good opportunity, something with the potential to grow. So what if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock where you invest to make money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps students like me go to college, which ends up making the future better for everybody. I could be the first college graduate in my family, the first district attorney from my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there will be a second and a third. This can really be the start of something. My name is Charles, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Cover It Show. Thanks for listening. This is Jen Finley, and we're rocking it today because we're talking to Matthew Lagarde. We've got Brian McPherson coming up at the half-hour mark, and then we have Don Tucker for the Canna Talk section at the quarter-hour mark. So back to Matthew and what he was talking about with being in studio versus live audience. So Matthew, I was wondering, do you gain more when you play in front of a live audience? Is it a gain versus loss sometimes? Like maybe you in the studio, I know how serious you are and how very into the music you are. You can hear it from the songs. So
live, it depends on the energy of the people there. I mean, there are times when we've been totally dismissed live, and that has fueled me to put on the most aggressive show that we possibly could, And there's been times where people really get it, and you make an actual intimate connection with people, and that transfers to the performance as well, Yeah. So you can either gain or lose live, I suppose.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, that's a good way. That's a very good way to, to examine that. There's, So
for example, like the last show we played was like probably the best show we've ever played, and we had a new booking agent, Ryan, and shout out to Ryan, and like we'd never played with these bands before, but whatever. When we got on stage and we played, and it was just like magnetic. The energy in the room was palpable, and as soon as we've never had it to where as soon as it was a song was finished or whatever, people just kind of exploded into applause, which usually then it's a slow,
Oh, how
slow
gratifying.
crescendo thing. Yeah, it was definitely exciting.
So that's
And it
where
was
you
one of the only shows where we all looked at each other basically while playing and then after playing and being like, what was that, you know? Like,
What was that? It was the Colourflies. That's what that was. It was
yeah, people came out to the show that
Yeah.
we didn't expect. We didn't have to, like, badger a bunch of people. We didn't sell any tickets, and it was weird. Hopefully it's a, you know, it's
It
a
was weird.
progression.
How was it weird because you're still getting used to the fact that you're just climbing, and
Yeah.
then all
It's all
then these-
gradual. And
yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, it was just weird because we're getting used to that, I guess.
Well, that's very, very humble statement, and you are a very humble person, and that attracts a lot of people, I think, because it's it's just that you could easily say, hey, I rock it, and I'm a rock star, and we've got it, we've got these tunes down, and yet you look for improvement, you look for ways to grow. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I'm just trying to
No. It's,
go off previous
our
episodes.
drummer is probably the most critical person I've ever met in my entire life. So basically, he'll shoot you a look if you're off.
And that was
and it-
who again? I'm sorry.
It's 10. Oh, that's Devin. So he's like, yeah, he's really like the whip master. I mean, but like, I don't know. We all take it so seriously that we will rehearse sections of songs for, 45 minutes.
Right,
how
and
we have them
practice
down.
makes perfect. And on top of that, do you find that being really prepared in what you do to assist you that much more in your live performances, the preparation?
No, you know what's really weird though? I honestly think like it's funny. We practiced the day of that show, and I was like, I don't know how we're gonna play tonight, because we kind of give it our all in practice as well. And we played a really great show that night, but there's been times where we don't practice at all, and we played really, really well. And so there's sometimes, no matter how much you practice, things can go wrong and you can be bad. Like, I don't know. It just kind of depends on the night, depends on the room, depends on the sound.
There we go. Hey,
Depends on where everyone's head is.
Yeah, well, hopefully
can-
the listeners right now, their head is in the right place to hear Rock Candy. I'd like to play Rock Candy right now.
Yeah.
I think it's an awesome song. So let's hear it from the Colourflies, Rock Candy.
But it says
That was Rock Candy by the Colourflies, and we have Matthew Lagarde on right now. Matthew, that was so awesome.
Howdy.
Thank you for allowing me to play your song. It was a great
no problem.
song. You know, I think it's got that vibe that it's kind of a raw but yet purposeful move, just like all art.
Right.
I feel that art needs
we were trying to make a really sorry about that. We were trying to make a really like heavy kind of new wavy Talking Head song, and we came up with that. And St. Vincent, which was a huge influence. So
okay, and then so when you first had that song in your mind and your band first jammed with it, did you know that it was going to go as far as it's going?
Actually, when we first had that song, we actually had another label that were interested in us, and I had sent it over, and they're like, "Oh, this is great. This would make a great B-side." And I was like, "Well, what do you think of it as a single?" And they're like, "Oh, no, you don't put out singles like that."
Well,
and I was like,
opinions
I
are
think
like
it's good
some
enough to
people.
be at least an album track, so we put it on a record. But when we jammed the song, that was our favorite song to play.
Oh, well then there we go. I can hear the enthusiasm for sure in that. I can definitely hear it.
That's my first. That's probably and that's probably one of my first like guitar solo things in that song too, which I thought, and the rhythm is kind of, you know what I mean, out there.
I like it.
But yeah, it was really cool because first I went out to this place called Spangle in Washington, and then I did the drum track for the song, and then we went back to the studio and we just overdubbed on the song for it had to be 7 hours or something like that in the studio.
Wow.
And
that's dedication. You are so dedicated to what you do, and you're dedicated
we all had to be on that one. It had to be we made sure everything was pitch perfect, and we were trying to, you know what I mean, make sure everything was part focused, and because we had to overdub in part
right
on the song, basically punching in and out on recording on tape or whatever. But
right, awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
Well, Matthew, thank you so much for calling in today. I appreciate it so much. I'm sure the listeners do too. You know, it's just rocking. I just love your style. There's not one song I've heard from the Colourflies that I do not like, and I'll stand behind that 100%. And I wish you nothing but continued success in the future. And so you have a wonderful day in Idaho, and keep rocking it. And I'll invite you back on the show in a little bit and see how you're doing there. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, great. Well, this is the Cover It Show with Jen Finley. We're going to cut to a break, and then we'll be back.
Located on the southwest corner of Plum and Arlington, the Stonehouse Cafe is truly a culinary treat.